People in the military love voting Republican as if they don't join the military for the socialist benefits. Like, yeah, you want to defend your country, and yes, you want to be a brave hero, but also you want free housing. And also, I'm sure you want free college tuition for yourself or your spouse or your kid. And also, you want free healthcare, and also, you want pension and a very robust retirement. And also, you want vacation time and to travel the world and do all these things. And so, you say that you're joining the military so that all Americans can benefit from freedom and all these wonderful things in the American dream, and yet you're the only one that gets to benefit from the things that you vote against for everyone else. And the complaint that Republicans always have about why certain things in socialism don't work is because, well, they cost too much in taxes. I wonder what the largest portion of American tax dollars go to. Wow, it's almost like it's the military, because they're paying for all of these social services for their active duty members and their veterans. As they should be. We should be using tax dollars to give Americans free housing and healthcare and education, so on and so forth. But clearly it's not an issue of the tax dollars. It's just about who gets to benefit from the tax dollars and who doesn't.
She definitely said a lot here. And before people get in the comments and this turns into a political thing, I want to talk about her actual comments, not about political beliefs, even though I am fully aware talking about the military inherently is political. I fully understand as somebody who did 10 years active duty. Now, that is why I believe that when I hear this video and watch it, certain things sound very alarming to me. And it was so much to unpack that I actually might have to go bit by bit.
People in the military love voting Republican as if they don't join the military for the socialist benefits.
That specific statement right there, unfortunately, generalizes a group of people just because they're in the military. Everybody that is in the military has their own separate beliefs. I know this for a fact, whether that's political beliefs, religious beliefs, beliefs about different standards that should even exist in the military, a plethora of different beliefs. So to associate that to the military members as a whole, I don't even think that's fair. That's just like if there's a college full of people, does everybody believe the same? No. And the same goes for people in the military. But this is the big part for me. Associating socialism with the military, when what I heard and what I experienced after signing my life on the line for 10 years is the fact that it is actually compensation. That is the truth. This is a factual thing. And that's why it's very important that we use the correct wording. I'm not perfect, she's not perfect. But when we act like that's not what it is, that's when it can become problematic. People who are in the military or were in the military or who served, who received dental, housing, retirement, school tuition, any of the benefits that come along with you signing your life on the line in agreement to them giving you something in return is not the same as socialism. You are not being given these things because they like you. They're not giving you these things because they want to help you out. They want to give you a handout. When you sign on the dotted line in the military as a service member, you are government property. Now tell me, do you think people would sign their life on the line and agree to being away for holidays, sleeping on the floor, going to locations that many people can't even imagine, training nonstop sometimes, having your leave passes denied, and don't even get me started on the treatment that some people receive while in the military. So you think that that might not have been an agreement when you are under the assumption that you are government property? Because that's what they tell us. That's really what they tell us. You are government property. And because you're government property, yeah, they want to make sure their equipment is mission ready. That might be a little too blunt for some of y'all, but that's really what it is. They want to make sure their equipment is good to go wherever it needs to go, that they're going to get the best return on their investment because you're government property. So yeah, your dental is part of the maintenance. Do you know they have whole meetings with higher ranking officials? And in those meetings, they are literally going over who is red on dental. Red meaning they haven't went to their appointment. And it's a big deal because when you don't have all these things good to go, you're not ready in the event that some big training event is coming up, or maybe something bigger than that? Or are you up to date on shots? What I'm trying to really say here is, it is a relationship where you likely understand that you are being used up for whatever it is you have to offer, whether that be your knowledge or your body. And in return, in your compensation, they are agreeing to compensate your housing, to compensate it, because that's an agreement. I need y'all to understand the difference. It is not free. Anything that is free would not come with terms and conditions. It would just be given. I honestly feel it does a disservice to service members to even say that these things are free, when many of us know people who have in the service. We have seen the ultimate sacrifices be sacrificed, and it wasn't free. And for all the civilians who've never encountered anybody in the military, just think about it like this. The military is just like an employer, but the employer actually ends up being the government. Our employers, when we're active duty or under any sort of contract, is the government, and the benefits are earned through the employment. It's not for any other reason. And I really do want to drive home my point that military personnel absolutely pay. Not only do they pay, their families pay. Oh, the families pay too. The years of your life that you commit to the military, that's a commitment. Deployments, that's a commitment. And trust me, they're not fun. I'm a combat vet. They're not fun. Not knowing if everybody is even gonna make it back. Moving every couple of years because you just got stationed somewhere. Many times, not by choice. It happens to many of us, and you're stuck. Unhappy, stuck, but in a contract that you agreed to. I'm still waiting to hear the free. Wow. In many times, in dangerous environments, separated from your family, risk of injuries, day to day, that if you had a normal job, maybe you wouldn't have these high risks of injuries, but because you're in the military, you do. And what the civilians do, you can't do. You can't do that. Benefits are not free if they are only given for you doing your job. It is compensation. And that's the word of the day, compensation. Can y'all say it with me with the little rainbow? Compensation. That's what it is. Do you know what happens when you go to a hazardous environment? It's actually called hazard pay because they're compensating you for being in an environment that is hazardous. Compensation, not free, not because they like you, compensation. When you go to a country, you may have to live there and pay out of pocket. Do you know what they give service members? A cost of living allowance, because they're compensating you, because that was the agreement, not free. They don't like you that much. They don't like any of us that much. You're not special. I wasn't special. You're not. Nobody is special. You were compensated. Military having to travel for work purposes because they needed you to go to another base to help them with a mission. And now move your family over there and be an asset to another unit. You know what they did? They paid you to move. Why? Because it's part of the agreement and the compensation. They wanted you to move for them as your employer, so they paid you compensation for the move. Did you move yourself? They call that a diddy move. I've done many. Guess what? I was compensated for moving my own furniture myself, or they would compensate the moving company because it wasn't free. Nothing is free. The food, the service member has their food covered. Why? Because you're government property and they need to compensate you. They need to protect their investment. Compensation. They're not feeding you because they just like you. They don't. Again, can't confirm nor deny. I don't think they like us that much. I do think it was part of the compensation, the agreement. Don't get me wrong. I can understand why all of these things sound great, because when I was 18 and I didn't have anything, a car, a house, shelter, dental, medical, none of it, all of that sounds like something that I would love to be compensated for. And teach me a new skill, teach me a new job. What can I get out of the deal? Because when I named all that other stuff, if I told you some of the stuff that I had to do, a lot of y'all wouldn't even go to a recruiting station if I told you. You might be on the back of a truck and somebody might throw poop on you because you are part of the logistical mission of transporting poop. Would you do that? I'll tell you, that happened to me. I was, in fact, on the back of a LMTV throwing poop bags on another truck in California in the desert. sleeping outside with the snakes on the floor because my battalion commander didn't believe in cots. A cot is just a metal bed you can quickly set up with a little green sheet over it to keep you off of the floor. He didn't believe in that. So we had to sleep on the ground with the snakes, the cockroaches, the spiders in the middle of a California desert. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, by the way, I didn't shower for like 2 weeks. Didn't shower. Did anybody care? No, because nobody else was showering. And get with the program. Do you know what I ate? MREs. You know what an MRE is? It's not a 5-star course, I'll say that. Do you know what I drank? Do you know what I drank? We drank out a water buffalo. And I'm not necessarily sure if a few times when I drank out of it, it was clean. I was thirsty. There wasn't nothing else. You know what I was doing at 4 a.m? I was in a foxhole that we dug at 4 a.m. Do you know how many mental breakdowns I seen? How many mothers crying about they have a newborn child that they really, really, really miss? And they're in the field with me. You know how many fathers I'm out there with? Their wives are pregnant. They're out there with me. Do you know how many birthdays everybody is missing either from them or their family members because they're training, or worse, many? And by the way, compensated for all of this with housing, dental, and the potential to go to college. Because I don't even want to tell you all the hurdles that you may have to overcome in some branches, I'll say, might be better than others, for you to go to school. It's not impossible, but it's not going to be easy. And don't even get me started about things like TikTok. Do you think that service members can just get on TikTok and say whatever they want? Do you think they can just say whatever they want? They have to be real careful because they're being compensated by their employer. And we even see a lot of people on TikTok face administrative actions when they get back to work in the military because they're being compensated in their government property. Their government property. Again, maybe not just giving this stuff for free. I'm still waiting on the free. I'm looking for the free. Again, I want y'all just to think about the compensation part. Compensation is not socialism. Employee benefits is not socialism. Didn't say she said that though. I just wanted to make it clear that it's not socialism. Now, she was talking about universal health care or universal college or universal education or anything like that. I would be like, yeah, that was socialist. The socialism of it all. Can understand, but not the military. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we can't act like the military is not funded by the government. It absolutely is.
I wonder what the largest portion of American tax dollars go to. Wow, it's almost like it's the military because they're paying for all of these social services for their active duty members and their veterans.
Not a social service, a compensation. Remember the word of the day, but let's continue.
As they should be. We should be using tax dollars to give Americans free housing and health care and education, so on and so forth.
Now we're mixing the two, because now she's saying Americans. Yes, military members are Americans, but what she is describing is likely all Americans, which she is entitled to her beliefs. What she is combining with it is the fact that military members are compensated and receiving those benefits. It's not the same. It's not the same. Additionally, when people talk about the money being spent on the military, and I'm not sure if this is on purpose, but I think a lot of the time they leave out other things like equipment, which is really expensive. And I know this as somebody who was in charge of charging people for equipment whenever it got damaged. That was my job. It's really expensive. I would walk through and do inventories as a logistician on equipment, on gear. Not only that, I'd order it, I receive it, put it on the property books. I know how much it costs. It's not cheap. All of the things that go inside of the buildings, not cheap. So, but she wouldn't know that. No offense to her, but she likely doesn't know this because it doesn't seem as though she's ever been in the military. There is budgets for stuff like training, maintenance, and like so many different things that cost money that I think are being left out of the conversation. And it just sounds like, oh, it's just the military members taking all the money. And it's like, it's deeper than that, y'all. It's a compensation for one. And two, there's a lot of nuance to this. And I'm only saying these things to educate people. I don't expect the general population to know these things. Why would they know? I've had people tell me, oh, when you were in, you got free this, free that. No. I've never once thought it was free. I thought it was earned. deserved my right because that's what we agreed on. Hello?
But clearly it's not an issue of the tax dollars. It's just about who gets to benefit from the tax dollars and who doesn't.
And I can understand where people may be coming from with the idea that they believe certain things should be funded. And I feel like everybody has a right to believe whatever they believe or want whatever they would want. Even people saying things like, if we can afford to do this, or if we took away from this, we could do this and give to X amount of people. People have the right to feel however they feel. And I'm not arguing that. I just want y'all to understand one thing. And what is the thing? Is that the military personnel are being compensated for their time. Amen. Amen. And if you watch this video and you said to yourself, Symone, I think all this stuff is free that the military is getting, and they this and that and this and that, I would say this: there is a recruiting station probably not too far from you. If you too want to be compensated, or if you believe that this is free, you can go to your nearest recruiting station, and I assure you that you will realize very quickly it's not very free. It comes with a lot of terms and conditions. It might ask a lot of you. It might ask you to do a little 2-mile run. I don't know if you're ready for that. Is you conditioned? You've been doing your push-ups. Your pull-ups can't be free with all these stipulations. And then the people who can even do that, don't get me started. The people who can physically do that and maintain that standard while they're within their contract, that's another conversation, because I'll have you know, I've even had to help kick some of my own soldiers out because they couldn't run. They can't run. They put on a little bit too much weight. They've been eating too much McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, and I was stuck on the waist. And now we're trying to get it off. We're trying to pass a run, and they can't pass it. And they got put out. And guess what? They lost all of those things that I told you was part of the compensation. They didn't get it anymore because, again, I can't confirm nor deny how much they were liked and just taken care of for free. But they didn't receive it anymore once they got kicked out because they couldn't run. Do y'all hear what I'm telling you? Okay. And I say this with love. I say this as somebody with experience. There are a lot of brave men and women that had to give up a lot. It's not free, y'all. It's not. Now, I do want to read some of these comments. And there is a part 2 that I seen floating around TikTok. And I want to get to that too because I ain't seen it yet. But now it says here at the top, stop hogging the free healthcare and then calling people freeloaders for using food stamps, pound military, pound veterans. Now, I don't think that's fair. I don't know who she's talking about, but I think this is a generalized statement. Once again, perhaps somebody she knows that is in the military may have perhaps said something to her. I'm not sure where this is coming from, but I will say this. Remember, people are just people at the end of the day. They really are. You got in the military Republicans, Democrats, people on all different sides. The military isn't comprised of just one type soldier who believes one type of way. And that's the truth behind the matter. I'd say get to know your veterans, get to know people so maybe you can understand that concept. And I say that in a loving way. Grouping people in a large group of people that you don't know, in most cases, is dangerous because many people who don't understand these groups of people might take what you're saying for face value, and it's perhaps not factual, which is why it can be dangerous. So we got to be careful, y'all. We really do. I do want to read these comments. The first one says, we are a military family. 90% of the people I know in the military joined purely out of necessity, not patriotism. And if I'm being honest, and I've talked to and led many of soldiers, many squads, I would agree with that statement as somebody who was actually in the trenches, many trenches over 10 years, by the way. I agree. And you know what? All different shapes, colors, beliefs. That's what I seen. Now, I'm just telling you my experience. And y'all can feel free to sign on the dotted line and experience it for yourself and then form your own thoughts. Another comment saying, as a veteran, I can say I joined the Navy 0% patriotic and 100% poor. Now, I'm not saying you can't do both. What I am saying is this. I was poor. I was 18, fresh out of high school. I was poor. For those of y'all who have been on this channel long enough, y'all have heard me tell y'all time and time again, I was living in a place with roaches, a motel with roaches in the Krenak, allegedly fiends outside at all hours of the morning. A waitress, nonetheless, making minimum wage. No dental, no healthcare, no car. I was taking the bus. I don't got nothing against none of this stuff. I'm just telling you what my reality was. There was no college fund, emergency fund, None of that. Minimum wage in uncertainty. So when I hear a lot of other vets tell the story, a lot of their story is like mine. It's like mine. And if you're a vet watching, feel free to comment down below. But that was my story. Things worked out for the better for me in the end. But did I jump off the porch at 18 with a silver spoon? Absolutely not. Hello? Absolutely not. Everybody where I lived went to go work at the factory when they turned 18. That was it. Guess what? Many of them are still working at the factory. I have nothing against people who work at the factories either. But that's what I was seeing. And I saw an opportunity to perhaps better myself, perhaps be able to go to college, have some sort of dental care, medical care, shelter. Yeah. Now at the time it was a different time back then. That's all I'm saying. But when I say I agree with this 100% poor, I couldn't agree more. That's the reality for many people. And they weren't compensated because they're 100% poor. Because I was 100% poor before I joined. There was no help. There was no help. The 100% poor only got compensated because the 100% poor signed their name on the line to serve this country, not because they liked us. Not until the name was on the dotted line. That was when this quote unquote free help or benefits came. But I didn't even tell y'all everything. I just told y'all a little bit of my experience, just a little bit, because I don't want to say too much. Gotta keep it on need to know. But that little bit that I just gave y'all, that'd be too much for some people. Yeah, she definitely went viral, 1.2 million views as of the recording of this video.
I'm gonna make a quick follow-up on the video that's gone super viral of me talking about military people voting against socialist initiatives when they receive a lot of socialized benefits from being in the military. A very, very common comment that I have gotten on that video from service members is that what they are receiving in benefits are not free because of the work that they are putting in and because they're putting their lives on the line for those benefits. I never said that wasn't the case. I am aware that being in the military is very difficult. I am aware that you are willing to put your life on the line in order to get those things that you're getting. But that's also my point. My point is, you could do a different job that maybe pays similar to being in the military and is certainly a hell of a lot safer. You don't have to risk your life. You don't have to be away from your family for months or sometimes years at a time. You won't have to do things that are going to make you wrestle with your own consciousness and the morality of the decisions that you've made. That's the point. The point is that all of the other socialized benefits from the military, like having much better, socialized healthcare, better socialized housing, benefits even after you retire so that the houses you get, you don't have to pay the same taxes or anything like that. The assistance that you get for the rest of your life after being in the military is worth you putting your life on the line for.
Girl, that's a compensation. Like, she's missing the point. That's how I'm really feeling. And it's like, oh, you can get another job where you don't have to do blah, blah, blah. The selling point for many people is what they are compensated with. The fact that they may be able to live on post or live outside of post. And if they have family, be able to have their family's medical taken care of for a cheaper amount, or have daycare that is cheaper than what normal civilians pay, because people in the military, if they can get on the list, first off, because the list is full a lot of times, but they can get cheaper childcare. And I'm waiting to hear, and if y'all know some places, please comment them down below. Where do y'all know of that is compensating their employees for their housing, their food, medical, dental, and college? Not only that, all of this extending to your kids, your spouse. And it just sounds so, it's like the way she's saying it, it's just like, you can just do, like, let me know. Because it's a lot of people in the comments that would love to know of these places so I can tell them to apply. Where do these places exist? Because I'll be first to say I don't know everything. So y'all can enlighten me. I'm gonna drop a whole video saying who, what, when, where, and why. But I know the why for the military, or why they're giving them all of that, is compensation for their body, because you're government property. And girl, this is a job. The military is a job. It's a job. Y'all get that? Employment. That's why you can put it on your resume. I'm saying this respectfully. You put it on your resume when you get out, X years of military service, because it was your job. And if this was, again, if it was socialism, like, the idea of socialism is that regardless of what you do, you gonna get it. You gonna get housing, food, dental, medical. And you have the right to feel, as a viewer, as a person with thoughts and opinions, however you want to feel about that, whether you think everybody should get it or not. I'm not even arguing that. I'm saying that military compensation And receiving it comes with conditions. Conditions. It's like, just think about love, y'all. If you really love somebody, you will love them no matter what they did to you. If it's unconditional love, no matter, they could slap you in the face, you still gonna love them tomorrow because you can't help it. It's unconditional. It's gonna happen regardless. They could do you the dirtiest. You're still gonna love them. The same, in my opinion, can be said. However, if the love comes with conditions, like if you hurt me, I don't love you anymore, then it's conditional love. It's not unconditional. It comes with terms and conditions. It's my point. Terms and conditions may apply. Same as with the military, okay? The military will give you all of those things if you meet the standards and the terms and conditions. The minute you don't, do they still want to give it to you? Do they still love you? They're still gonna look out for you? Give you free housing? Quote unquote free housing? Free all of this? No, they don't love you that much. But hey, as long as you rising to the occasion when they need you to, when you said you was gonna do it, then everything's fine. Everybody's happy, right? That's my point. It's conditional. And in many places get free stuff and it don't come with conditions. That's free. If I try to give you something right now and I say you can have this for free, but it's gonna cost you X, Y, and Z, is it really free? There's a video floating around on the internet of a guy saying he's gonna give somebody a coffee, give a woman a coffee for free, only if she tells him he's handsome. Is it free or did it cost something? If it cost something, it wasn't free. That's what we are trying to tell. That's what we're trying to stress, because some of y'all just think that military benefits are a handout. Mind you, military also pays Social Security, taxes, all of that, just like everybody else. So when I hear people say, our tax dollars are this, you talking about them too. Again, as somebody who did 10 years, I seen it come out my check just like everybody else. The civilians too. Yes, did we benefit from the tax-paying dollars? Still, yes, because it's part of the compensation. Because somebody got to do the thing that everybody can't do or don't want to do. And those citizens were compensated by the citizens of that country, by everybody in that country.
I got so many comments of people saying, I didn't join the military because I was patriotic. I joined because of the benefits. And I was willing to put my life on the line for those benefits.
Right.
My point is, how can some of you not see that there are people who can't physically put their life on the line for those benefits, but who still deserve them because they are a human right, so much so that you're willing to die to earn them?
If we're talking about people who physically can't do it due to limitations, disabilities, and things of that sort, I definitely can understand a lot of people's mind states when it comes to that. And y'all can tell me, isn't there services for people who have the things she's talking about? Again, I don't claim to know everything. I'll be the first to say. But if she's referring to people who can't get the benefits because they can't pass the fitness test because they may be out of shape or something like that, that's a different conversation. If you're talking about people who may not join because they don't like taking tests and they get anxious, and I've met people like this, you're like, oh, they still deserve benefits. That's your opinion. But the military personnel have earned everything that they have. And you can still want the best for everybody, but those things were earned. Standards were kept. Missions were complete. Sacrifices were made. I think that's the disconnect here, ma'am, that you're maybe not seeing in your conversation. And it maybe wouldn't be such a viral video if you weren't comparing the two separate things, because I think she's 1 minute talking about the average American and what she may want for them, which is her right. And then she seems like then she's talking about disabled people, which that's perfectly fine also. But then you're talking about the military. And it's like, I feel like there are 3 different conversations possibly being had, and it's all over the place. And I think what the military members in her comments are trying to tell her is that, hey, you can feel however you want to feel, but the military earned that. They earned that. It's just like if somebody retired from a job, like back in the day when people could retire with pensions after working 20 years at a company, or like the mailman or something like that could retire after working 20 years. They earned that pension. And that's like somebody that didn't earn a pension that still has to work, or whatever the case may be, look at them and say, well, I feel like we should be able to get paid too. And you can feel however you want to feel. You really can. That's great. But that doesn't take away from the person who met their contractual agreements with their employer with the understanding that this is what their benefit would be. And you can still want whatever you want for whatever group of people. You can still want that, but it's not the same. It's not the same, you know? It's not the same.
We're on the same team.
Girl. I'm pausing at the wrong time. Get me off this roller coaster now. If you say so. Okay.
People should not have to risk their lives for the government to provide them for essential things and to take care of them. And yet you're willing to do it, and you've let the government convince you that that's the only way to earn it.
Ma'am, I would love to know on behalf of some of us who joined poor, what solution would you have for them? And I'm not saying they have to join the military. I want to know what the other options are. Like, forget all the hoopla. Let us know the options so we can put some people on. I'm a solution-based person, okay? Because when I didn't have no money, I'm not over here in my moments of need and trying to figure out my life at 18, the last thing that was going to help me was saying, oh my gosh, it should be this, it should be that. And I believe a lot of things should be different. Oh yeah, but in the moment, the real question is, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? What can people do? And people may say you shouldn't have to. Okay, cool. What can they do? Where is this help? Where is the job that is going to give all these things, or maybe not even all of the things? Just give me something. Give me something to work with, because I'm looking at the job market right now. It's been hard for people. I've been looking at it year after year after year. Tell us, what are we missing? Because we want to know where to go. What can they do? Or is TikTok the answer? The answer can't be just to say what it should be. The answer gotta be doing something. And I'm all for doing something, but what is being done? Y'all about to start a revolution or something? Like, let me know. It's like, hey, but I'm asking what? What is it?
When plenty of other countries provide it automatically to every single citizen and they just take it out of the tax dollars. Thank you for proving my point.
But we don't live there, ma'am. I get what you're saying, and I've lived in other countries. I love what specifically even Germany got going on with how their colleges set up for the youth. I love it. So if again, I'm a solution-based person, what can we do? We know what they got going on. What can we do? What solution do you got for us? Because I want to know. And I just think you're missing the point, ma'am. I respectfully do. And I believe in everybody's right to voice their opinion, in a respectful way. You see how I don't agree with her, but I don't hate her. I don't hate her. It's just a conversation. I actually think more of this happened, but I understand it can be hard, especially considering a lot of other factors. But yeah, I'm wishing her well. And it says here on the screen, people are willing to give up the ghost for socialized benefits. You're proving her point. And maybe I'm missing what her point was. Again, I don't claim to know everything. I may be missing her point. And if y'all find what the point was that she is making as far as these quote unquote socialized benefits, because again, it doesn't even register in my head that is a factual statement, because they're not socialized benefits. Do you see what I'm saying? We can't go further because that doesn't make sense. But if y'all find the point that I'm missing, let me know down below. Sometimes we're wrong. Like, I'll be first to admit when I'm wrong, but let me know. And she was replying and she said, we're on the same side. Your government should provide you these things without having to make such sacrifices. And I'm glad you feel that way, ma'am, but I'll tell you the truth. They don't. The military needed bodies. Like what they say on Power, the streets need a body. They needed bodies. And I'm just typing this out to me and reading it, it makes it kind of worse, because it's like you're saying they should provide you these things without having to make such sacrifices. And I want y'all to answer, do you think they just love them so much? Like, go back to our love discussion. Do they love us that much, or is it conditional like many other things in life? I'm just being realistic. But the should, hey, I would love to wake up, or everybody wake up and that be the case in a perfect world. But every day I wake up and I'm in reality. I'm not in a world, and I don't think a lot of people are in a world of what should be just all day, all month, or all year, every year for 10, 20 years. There are people that are just like, it should be this way, it should be that way. And they've been saying that for 20 years, and life is going by, and they still just yelling about what should be. They're not seeing any changes. They're not seeing no changes. So if you can change something, I'm all for it, even for changing yourself. But even that, a lot of times comes with this word, sacrifices. And even for a lot of the things that a lot of y'all feel should be, this may still come to the conversation, sacrifices. But tell me if I'm off. I don't even know if I want to read these comments, because I'm really not. They're just saying that you just incorrect. And this one says, they didn't prove your point. You just kept on moving the goalpost. And they're just saying, not only are you wrong, but you're so wrong. And then I just was thinking this whole idea of with her saying these are socialized benefits. When I think about what I've experienced in the military, I think about capitalism. I think about capitalism from the jump. I don't think socialist. I don't think things were being done just to be just because. I think it's very much like our American way of life, capitalizing off of the people in the military because you need them to do whatever you need them to do whatever you're trying to accomplish. That sounds like capitalism to me. It don't sound like socialism, but y'all tell me if I'm off. Y'all tell me if I'm off. I need to know what y'all think about this down below. Do y'all think she was wrong? Do y'all agree with her? Do you think that government benefits for service members are socialist benefits of any sort? Do you even think those two words should be in the same sentence? But if you want to fight about it, you can always join the military, or you can go down in the comment section and do what you do. Or better yet, you can go to a recruiting station. Tell me if I'm wrong, but only come back after about 3-4 years. But nonetheless, we got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.